Today I'm going to make kimbap. For many Koreans, kimbap is a very familiar food and one that comes with a lot of personal memories. It's something your mom would often make for school trips or picnics, wrapped neatly and packed with care. There aren't many strict rules when it comes to kimbap. You can put in whatever you like. As long as the fillings aren't too wet, almost anything works. That's part of what makes kimbap so comforting. It's flexible, simple, and very personal. Before rolling kimbap, it's better to let the rice cool slightly so it doesn't get too sticky. So I'm spreading it out like this. I sprinkle in some salt as I fluff the rice, and when you mix it, be gentle. The goal is to keep the rice light and fluffy, not sticky or mushy. Kimbap is something you can find almost anywhere in Korea. These days, the most common place to see it is actually convenience stores. There are so many different kinds of now, and a lot of people grab kimbap with a cup of instant noodles for a quick meal. You can even find a frozen kimbap these days, and I've heard it's being exported overseas too. If you ever tried a kimbap, let me know where you had it and what kind of it was in the comments. As I mentioned earlier, there aren't strict rules about the fillings. You can really put in whatever you like. Personally though, I always think egg and 단무지 make kimbap better. 단무지 is Korean pickled radish. It's yellow, slightly sweet, and crunchy, and it adds a really nice balance inside the roll. That said, it's all about preference. If you can't find a certain ingredients, feel free to swap them out. And if you're making the egg the way I did earlier feels too complicated, you can just add a fried egg instead. It works perfectly fine. This is probably the hardest and the most important part of making kimbap. Yes, it's time to roll. Take it slow and just follow along with the video. There is really no rush here. I'll share a few small tips as we go, because once you get the rolling part right, everything else suddenly feels much easier. This isn't a rule, just a helpful tip. When rolling kimbap, the seaweed covering the fillings should stick firmly to the rice underneath. That's what keeps the roll nice and tight. Here's one last tip for rolling kimbap. After you finish rolling, the very end of the seaweed often doesn't stick and kind of lifts up like this. Don't do anything else, just place the side facing down on the plate and let it sit. Remember when I said you can put anything you want inside kimbap? I meant it. So I'm making a cheese kimbap and a tuna mayo kimbap too. And here's my personal opinion. What really makes kimbap feel like real kimbap is the smell of sesame oil. Don't be shy. Give it a generous brush. That aroma, that's the soul of kimbap. Before we slice, I just want to share something. Does your country have a food like kimbap? Something tied to your childhood? For me, kimbap feels like my mom. I still remember her waking up early in the morning, making dozens of kimbap for our family. Maybe it's because I'm getting a little older, but thinking about moments like that gives me this strange feeling. Not exactly sadness, just something hard to name. If you have a special food like that, a dish that reminds you of someone, tell me about it in the comments, please. Alright, enough with the slicing talk for now. You know how some food just work better together? Kimbap is great on its own, but for a lot of Koreans, it somehow feels incomplete without something spicy on the side. So yes, tteokbokki is coming later. Not because it's fancy or special, but because that combo just makes sense. It's the kind of a pairing you don't really question. You just see it and you go, Yeah, that's right. No big reason, no deep meaning, just good food keeping good food company. Thanks for spending your time with us. If you liked it, a subscribe or a like would mean a lot. See you next time.